we on? All right. I'm going to call to order the Selectmen's meeting of Monday, April 1st, 2024. Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, do we have any public input? Okay, seeing none. We'll go to the review and approval of minutes. We have regular minutes from the meeting of Monday, March 18th. Anybody have any additions, deletions?
I'll move their approval.
I can second those.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. And we have non-public minutes from Monday, March 18th.
I'll move their approval.
There are actually two sets, so
There are two, yes.
I don't know if you want to identify them by time.
Sure, that's probably the best way. 6:04 p.m.
Right. So that's the one I'm moving.
Okay. Second?
I second, sorry.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And the second set of minutes from March 18th, 6:08 p.m.
I'll move the approval of these minutes.
I will second.
Do these minutes could probably be unsealed? Do you want to do that now or later when we
No, I have to do.
review minutes?
These are
This is the.
okay. The 6:08 minutes should be unsealed. I'll make a motion that we unseal the 6:08 minutes.
I'll second that.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
But the 6:04 minutes will
Remain sealed.
Remain sealed.
Appointments, 4:30, road agent, monthly report. Come on up.
All right. Since last month when we met, there have been several windstorms that created lots of tree debris around town. The dirt roads were muddier than normal, making a longer mud season than usual. We have been filling ruts and potholes with 3/4 stone to help the situation. Last week we had a 20 to 24 inches of wet, heavy snow to plow. And with the shoulders and the dirt roads being soft, it made it difficult to plow without tearing up the gravel. Last week we prepared for heavy rains that came through after the snowstorm. To prepare, we had to clear and move snow to let water flow off the roads and into the ditch lines, and we cleared off catch basins. This winter season has been tough on some of the roads, especially Sodom Road. The top layer of pavement is starting to separate from the base layer in several areas. This problem needs to be addressed in the near future. And also I was wondering if we could do an annual Selectmen drive around this month to finalize the list of roads for paving. That would be ideal, so we can put that out to bid.
Yeah,
Why not?
Okay.
sure. When do you want to do that?
You guys usually decide that. I'm available pretty much every day.
How about next Monday?
I only have to be somewhere at 7, so as long as it's.
Next Monday afternoon at,
Are you working on Monday?
yeah, 3:30.
Can we.
It takes a little while to do it. That's my
Yeah,
only
usually a
concern.
couple
That's
hours.
Tuesday.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Oh,
The equipment.
The eclipse.
Monday. It's
The
Monday.
eclipse is Monday,
Yeah, it is.
not Tuesday.
We can all wear welders' masks.
Yes, that is Monday. I'm
It
sorry.
is
I was
Monday, yeah.
day off.
You had a day off because of the eclipse.
No, I was a day off, 'cause I thought it was Tuesday.
That's a pretty
I'm-
aggressive county government.
Yeah, right.
I'm available Tuesday if that's more.
Will it be easier, I mean, what day are you off, Bob?
Next week I'm not,
It's working 7 days,
no, 5 days. I'm off
Mhm.
Saturday and Sunday.
Monday through,
I don't have any planned days off next week, except one of the days I have a class.
Is the
You and
last
I
time we did
both
it,
have a class.
Yeah, it usually does,
You?
depending how aggressive
You
we
and I
want
both do.
to look at them.
Right. This coming Wednesday.
That's this Wednesday, but we have another one.
We do?
Until May,
Yeah.
The roads class.
May 9th.
That's May. Okay.
Okay. So let's see. I mean, I have Friday morning next week. I have afternoons. I think I could pull off Monday or Tuesday, even Thursday.
How much time is this going to take? An hour or two?
It's usually 2.
Then I would ask for a little bit later in the day, if at all possible.
Likewise. 3 o'clock? I mean, I can get out of
No.
work a half an hour early or something like that. Or
No earlier than that. That's pushing it for me.
3:30?
3:30 would be better.
so Monday or Tuesday?
Let's do a Tuesday.
Tuesday. Okay. That is the 9th.
Tuesday,
3:30.
Meet here.
And we'll meet here in this parking lot.
Road agent ride around, yeah.
I can ask to borrow my wife's car if we want, but it only holds 5, I guess.
Yeah, I'll drive around. in my
Okay.
car.
Well, how many of us
And
will there
we
be?
have,
Only be 4 of us, right?
I think one of you can take minutes.
yeah, it's
One of you can
we
take
gotta
notes.
announce it as a meeting.
I picked Dave to take 2 minutes.
Yeah, we can take notes.
And where do you think we ought to go? I mean, what's the plan?
Well, I would like to show you some of the problem areas, I guess, and then we can review the roads that we talked about for paving and see if that's still the plan. And go from there, I guess, I don't think we have time to visit all 47 roads, but we could probably see
No, we
the
should,
majority of them.
we should take a look at the one, just what you said, the ones that we talked about doing this year.
Yep,
And you mentioned that Sodom Road is,
I would like to look at that with you
Taking a
guys, so you
beating.
guys.
Right, and you got a bunch of guardrails that need to get addressed. When are we gonna do that? I wonder?
I think we're gonna have to put in a separate warrant article for that. It's gonna be that expensive. So we missed it for this year, I guess, but we certainly could do it for next year. We could get a estimate together. We've done that in the past, but nothing
Mhm.
ever took off from there for some reason, but
Yeah. Cause not only, I guess we've got Ken Lovett coming in at 5.
Yep.
But I looked at that guardrail down on that crossing and that's pretty falling into the river.
the old metal one.
both of them.
No,
Both
the new
sides.
one.
The new one we just broke. I don't think it's falling in. We broke
No.
one with the, it's just, we think we hit one post with the,
This leaning.
well, the wing went by a little hard, I guess.
Yeah.
Leaned on it a little bit, but I don't think
This is not much under it.
it's not unsafe or anything.
But you know, a couple on Ledge Hill Road that are pretty well destroyed.
Yeah, yep. That one gets hit most every year.
I'm
And-
sure, I don't know
Just
how
struck
to hit
again
it,
this
it's
year.
quite a ways off the road.
Yeah.
but-
Well, the one on the corner of Dame, that gets struck every year.
Right, on this side of that brook crossing,
Hmm.
the one on the eastbound lane. I looked at it when I came in, and it's just laying on the ground, it's not truly a guardrail.
Yeah. And we even have Union Wharf and
Mhm.
Sodom Road, those ones
Yeah,
all been struck multiple times. They all need to be replaced. Yeah, I'd say there's more than a dozen that have to be
right, so
replaced.
we should get some measurements together and try to get a quote so we know what we're doing for next year.
Mr. Levitt's gonna be bringing up, a weight limit over that bridge on Phineas Graves, that stone bridge, box culvert, whatever you wanna call it.
It's a stone culvert.
Stone
Basically, it's
culvert.
just all stone. There's not really an opening to it. There's no opening to it. I think it's just goes through
Oh,
stones.
so it's not really a stone box culvert.
No, not at
So
all.
it really has no historical value. It's just a pile of stone.
I've been told in the past that I think when Reggie Kobe was the road agent, he tried to put a regular culvert in and he got stopped and said that that was a historic site.
Stopped by who?
I don't know.
Don't know.
But I was
Maybe-
told not to do anything with that, to leave that area alone,
Maybe a previous board of selectmen.
possibly.
More likely to
Well, I'm sure that
neighboring landowner.
the Mott family, I'm sure, said something where it's,
Yeah, well, they're all dead
started from.
now. So we don't have to worry about that.
Nope, new people seem nice.
I don't know.
Gary doesn't own that anymore?
No, Gary passed away.
Oh, I didn't know that. I knew his
So
wife.
did Anik.
I knew she did, but I didn't know
Yeah.
Gary did too.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't think there's a problem with the weight limit for that bridge, but I don't know exactly how it's constructed. I shouldn't say too much because
Yeah.
there's a history behind that I don't know much about.
I don't know how you calculate the weight limit on that. A rubble
Yeah, right.
culvert.
Seems like it'd be fairly strong.
Yeah. So did any of the storm damage have a disaster relief of any kind?
Nope, not that I'm aware of.
No?
No.
And this next storm we've got coming?
Yeah.
Gonna do the same thing.
Sounds like it could be worse.
It could be better.
Let's go with better, but if the snow is heavier, the roads are definitely soft,
Right.
more soft now than they were. I don't think it's gonna get cold in time to freeze up any dirt roads.
No.
And the shoulders, I don't wanna put a wing plow on there and make a windrow of dirt. I've done that in the past. I learned my lesson. I don't wanna do that again. So we're not putting a wing plow on the truck. Cause when you get that windrow on the side of the road, that creates all the water to stay,
In the road.
In the road.
well, on the edge of it and washes out that section right on the edge of the pavement.
Mhm.
And then we're chasing that all summer, you know.
So our previous paving company is no longer the guy, he's just helping us. So we need to get the paving out for some kind of bidding process.
Yes. He's been out for 2 years already, but he's willing to come back and help us
So
oversee how it should be done and stuff like that. What
Right,
he thinks needs to be done, the bidding process, the whole thing.
but also involves the cost. So when we go around and look at these roads, what's the per foot rate for paving, whether it's top coat or whatever?
Yeah, the way he did draw that out, it kind of breaks that down. It would be enough information for us to,
Is he helping you out as a consultant
yes,
or so you're paying him to be a
we will.
consultant?
Yep. He doesn't build us anything, so we're good so far.
Right, but this doesn't give us a per ton rate.
Well, he breaks down each road, says per ton.
No, he doesn't.
I'm pretty sure it's
The cost, that's what I was looking for.
Did you pay him as a consultant last year?
I didn't use him last year. This year I wanted to. I think it would be to our advantage
Okay.
to,
What's the advantage? Like what
makes it a good choice.
Well,
And keep in mind, I know nothing about this stuff.
Sure. well, I like the idea that he was born into a family of pavers. I mean, he has done that, nothing but that his whole entire life. He knows.
Tar is in his blood.
Yep. They had their own factory. They made their own pavement and everything. They have their own plant. But he understands what should be done on each road. And I like that he can tell us, and then he can also say, you know, you want X amount, and it should figure out to X amount of tons. And if they tell you that they are going to do 2 inches thick, but they don't use enough tonnage, well, we know they're cheating us, and we're
But
going
on,
to see slips.
on this form that you just gave me, I mean, it's got, let's look at Shirley Road, 1.5 inches of paving, 450 feet, 22 feet wide, 100 tons, so that's an easy number.
That's top coat, right?
That doesn't give me a per ton.
It's 1,050 ton. Yeah.
Well, the next one down is what I was using, because it was, for mathematical purposes, easy.
Oh yeah. That's.
So you're not telling us what the per ton rate is, that's what I'm looking for.
Well, he's not giving it to us. This is what's going to go out, and the people bidding are going to tell us.
Okay, but do we have some kind of estimate or general?
So it was, yes. It's a little bit vague at this point because we're waiting for the new
Mhm.
the state bid comes out. It's a little early, and they kind of tell us what the rate's going to be.
What does that mean?
So when somebody does a job for the state,
Okay,
there's actually like
They're the
a,
largest buyer of pavement.
gotcha.
They're gonna set
Okay.
the tonnage.
So they're gonna get the lowest rate, but at least you have an idea where it's.
correct.
going.
I mean, it can't be crazy, from that. Obviously, they're going to pay less than we are, but
Right.
and it's also set by the what was that called? The liquid asphalt. That's how a lot of it is determined. What liquid asphalt, and that's an index that's open for us to look online,
Okay.
and that also
What's it
says
called?
liquid asphalt
The index market.
Yep.
for New Hampshire. They have one for each state, and it's different. But yeah, I'd love to have Frank. Frank said he'd come in and meet with you guys if you'd like, and we can ask him all the questions we want. And
So but he doesn't have any stake in the game per se. He's just
Nope.
just a consultant.
just a consultant. He's retired, and he's not leaning towards anybody.
I gotta ask the question. We've never used a consultant before for paving our roads. Why start now?
because I think it'd be worth it. I really do. If we have questions that come in like last year, we have somebody that can be there to answer them. I think it's money well spent.
How do we? So, I know where you're going with that. I think. So how do we gauge whether it was worth it? Like, so at the end of the summer, year, whatever. How do we gauge that? I'm curious. If at all, maybe
Well,
we
I don't know
can't.
how you really gauge a consultant, but I think it's good for liability purposes.
Well, we've done certain parts of this, like Shirley Road, we've done that. I mean, we
Yeah.
know what it cost us last year. We could look up the cost of liquid asphalt in 2022 or 23, and then look at the cost of it this year. And
But
make
he's
sure
also
we
gonna
just-
help us with a 10-year plan, not just this.
Right.
He'd be able to help us with a 10-year plan, putting roads in the order, even though, and he agrees with me on this, that's too far out. That's way too far out. We can do 5 years, realistically. 10 years is,
Well, isn't that
Insane.
what we're using Lakes Region Planning Commission for?
No, they gave us well, I don't know what they're doing now. What they had said they were going to do was give us projections forward.
well, one of the
Never
things
did
I didn't
last
like
time.
about them was, I met with them several times when we discussed everything, and they were nice and all, but they were just college kids. And everything that they learned that one day in class was from All-State Paving, and that guy was pushing for this and this because he was like the only one doing it. So he was really pushing for a certain type of thing. And
Well, I
then,
don't know that they pushed it. I mean, when it was explained to us when it came forward, it was, these are the alternative methods of handling the paving issues. And it was our decision, not some salesman's decision to push something.
correct, but this is what I saw.
I mean, there's always gonna be a question, isn't there something like chip sealing? Can't we
That's
just-
why I don't really,
Well, I know you don't believe in it, but
well, it works on
doesn't mean
certain
that-
situations, but it's gotta be new tar.
What I'm saying is that if we're looking at pushing, let's say, Pine Mill Road out for 2 more years, what can we do to mitigate the 2 years worth of damage? So they gave us certain products or procedures that might handle that. I mean, you're talking about Sodom, that's not even on our list. So what are we gonna do there? How can we keep that from getting any worse until we get to the point where we can reclaim it? I mean, that's,
I'm hoping we don't have to reclaim it, but I think it's definitely gonna
I
need
mean,
a
you'd be out there
drag coat
with
and
a
then,
hot patch machine for the rest of your life, and keeping these roads, getting them ready to pave.
Well, I'm seeing two things here. You're gonna be hiring consultants, which you haven't budgeted for, and apparently there's some damage on Sodom Road, which isn't in the paving budget.
Hmm.
So,
but I don't think we're not spending a lot of money on the consultant. It's not like we're
How much
talking
is it?
$10,000 or anything like that. We're probably talking 15.
I don't care if it's $20, it's all gonna come out of your paving budget.
Yep.
Right. But we don't have a paving program yet. We have a dollar amount. This was just.
Correct.
This is just,
Correct, but that dollar
An
amount
assumption.
was based on a very rough proposal that we got
Right.
last fall.
but, you know, we could have had a road completely destroyed, and we have to do that one instead of.
And that's happened in the
Right.
past.
Right.
That happened on Dame Road
Have
one
to
year.
swap it out.
We did to do that once.
Right, so. I think that we need to do the drive around and determine if these are still the primary road. I mean, we need to finish Tufton Road Neck, I think, but,
Mm-hmm. And Shirley Way,
Shirley Way, absolutely.
but both of those have been started and need to be finished.
yeah.
As much as I'd love to see Pine Mill
Well,
get
maybe-
done this year, we might not.
Yeah, we may have to move someplace else that's more desperate. And that the drive.
I think it'd be better here if the drive around will
That'll illustrate what we.
hopefully determine, when we all have our eyes on it and we see,
Right,
and we may say, hey, this is obvious, this is what we should do.
and I don't know that there's any additional federal money that's gonna become available for this. We'll find out, I guess.
Yeah.
Does the highway block grant money, do we get that annually?
Yeah,
And is that money allowed to be used for paving?
you can use it for anything you want, it just goes into anything to do with the highways.
Right.
But there's lots of other expenses involved in the highway department.
And when does that usually come out?
I think that's
Twice a
usually
year.
2 payments, however, you do claim that on your 434, so it's not in addition to
Right,
other monies, it's already kind of in your budget.
Yeah.
So you can't think of it as an extra bucket.
Okay.
right. Our extra bucket is sitting there with $60,000+ in it, that's about it. Well, we'll see maybe we'll get a disaster relief after this next storm, who knows?
Even still, it's over a year away probably before you ever see a nickel. We still got paid for last July, when they declared that.
We haven't got paid for that yet?
No, not even close to being finalized.
What's the?
I think it's just a normal process, takes time. And they said it would be hundreds of hours and take a lot of time.
Take a lot of time. Well, we've
For them.
already sent in.
For them.
Oh, for them, okay.
Correct.
Yeah. 'Cause, so that just becomes additional revenue.
Yeah, I'm guessing it goes into the general fund at that point.
Would have to, once we go over a year. I mean, if you get it during the fiscal year, we can allocate it because of one thing or another, but. no, it
Yeah,
just-
I've been told they're nearing the end of what the paperwork has to happen for us, but they didn't say when they would be allocating any money, or if we were even gonna get any money. Nothing has been said of what we're getting. Well,
Yeah, I'm
rushing
scared.
these things.
I'm a skeptic when it comes to anything in that
Yeah.
regard, but
Well, me too. I have a tough time with that, but I don't understand how it takes so long.
All right, so we're gonna do a drive-by next Tuesday.
3:30 here.
Do you want me to, put Jim on the agenda for the next meeting so you can discuss the drive-by afterwards and set priorities?
Probably.
I think that'd be a good idea.
Yeah, at least we can report on the drive-by.
Yeah, report on the drive-by, make sure that we're all on the same page, and
Yeah.
budget committees, when's the budget committee meeting?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, okay, that's organizational anyways, so,
Yeah.
all right.
So let's, are you taking notes? Let's get a firm figure on what, your consultant's gonna cost. What's
Okay.
gonna charge it?
Yep.
And for what?
I know you,
Cause we have to make that decision.
yeah, you're probably gonna get an hourly figure from him, I'm guessing. I can't imagine he's gonna give you a flat fee for consulting. He's probably gonna give you an hourly rate.
Seems like he just wants to help us, to be honest with you. I don't think he's out to make money.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he sold his company for like $20 million. He's probably okay.
Probably, yeah, but we need to know
Yeah.
how much we're paying.
Yeah.
Is it gonna be $500, is it gonna be $5,000?
Yep. Okay.
Well, it's gonna be $5,000, so we gotta put it on the street, so
Yeah, that's,
keep it low.
I'm not interested in that either.
Right.
We're not interested in that either.
You can keep that. Yeah.
Thanks.
All right. Anything else?
I think I'm good.
Anything else for him?
No, are you gonna still, the
Yeah.
report?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. All right, thank you. All right, next, 5 o'clock, we'll start a couple minutes early. Ken Levitt has asked for some additional time from the selectmen, and come on
My
up.
wife Eileen,
Pleased to meet you.
she's the
I'm Bob.
brains of the outfit, you know.
Oh, I see. I see.
Scary.
Thanks for seeing me again.
Sure.
I wanted to be a little more detailed than I have been.
All right, we have our road agent with us, if you hadn't figured that out already.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Glad for some explanations would be, or input. These are pretty pictures of the area of the coverage. Thanks. My objective tonight is to establish that the boundaries have been removed due to the construction down there on the site, drainage and everywhere. The boundary consists of, and I have a map of it, if you turn to the second page, you'll see a reduction of it, but I have the actual surveys, which you have too, because they are the subdivision plans, which are recorded. And
Well, hold on a second. Jim, are you up to speed on what's going on down there?
Not really.
All right. Why don't you come on up to the table, please, wherever you're comfortable.
you may want to picky, I didn't bring an extra copy.
Oh, actually,
Oh, good.
And can you
nice to meet you.
kind of give us a recap of why
Yep,
you're
I
here?
will in this,
Okay.
okay, because I've got maps out here so we can take a look at it and
Okay.
show you where I'm coming from. Jim, you may know or not know, but I purchased the Glynn lot here on the corner.
Yes, so that's the corner of Sawyer Road?
That's the bend in Sawyer Road, the actual intersection with Stillings Road, it used to be called Stillings Road, it's, what is it now?
Sawyer.
Right, excuse me.
He's got that brand new house that's built right on the
Right,
Yeah,
corner.
right here. So I brought the plans, this is the plan that I bought from. I'm gonna flip this quickly because there's a larger, the second plan has a larger. In other words, the plan consists of 2 sheets. So we're talking about lot 2, house, just the driveway entrance is here, and the house sits in here like this. This has been cut out, that part of it. The area that I have concerns with, as you can see, I've circled, and it's essentially this area in here, down the end. In other words, you flip that around, or if you want me to turn it the other way, I can do
No.
that.
No, you're fine.
So, what's happened, and if you flip the page, I took some pictures. That's a before picture, okay? That was taken maybe 3 or 4 last fall. And what's happened is this section of stone wall has been removed. And I'd like to point out that there was a surveyor's disc at the end of this, which would be monumentation. And that is further documented by,
Was it removed purposefully, accidentally?
I don't know, it's not there now. It was there when I bought it.
No, the section of stone wall, was it removed, was the stone wall removed purposefully?
Well, I was away in Ireland with my wife and we came home and that's what we found.
So when you left for Ireland, there was a stone wall, and when you came back, there wasn't?
That's correct.
I would say that was purposeful.
Yeah, but he
Well,
doesn't know why.
Right.
I can't say that
And I
who took it.
don't know anything about it either, nothing we did.
I mean,
We didn't remove it.
well, there's evidence that there was,
Somebody take the stone.
the digger was in there. So now where the
Who's digger?
towns,
The excavator that's.
the excavator was in there.
When this wall was removed?
This here,
No, not this year, when the wall was removed.
I'm sorry, what?
When the wall was removed, that wasn't removed this year.
Yes, it was,
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
This wall was removed 2 weeks ago?
Yes,
I'm not aware of
well,
that wall
no,
being removed. We were never even working on that area. We were working up above that.
Right.
well, someone's been in there and,
The digger was,
it's the excavator because this ditch has been, as we look at, this has been ditched out, this wall's been ditched out for drainage.
That wasn't recent one.
yes.
Yes, sir,
We were up
2
on
days
top
ago.
we were up on top by the grave, by the cemetery.
yes,
Somebody's
Oh,
job.
we
okay.
are.
That's where we were,
No.
by the cemetery.
No, this has
we're
been
at
done.
the bridge.
We went from the cemetery down to the bridge. That was all we did.
No.
No,
On
sir.
the other side.
I mean, come on out, I'll show you.
Okay.
And I have talked with the gentleman that was running the excavator, and they were down there. In fact, he ditched out the snow that was here.
So we
And,
just pushed it off to the side for drainage.
I have no, I'm not trying to criticize anybody's work. I'm just trying to say, I went on vacation, my wall's gone, and it's been done by the excavator. It had an excavator in there moving it.
You didn't happen to get its name, did you?
It's in the excavator.
Yeah, the guy
Well, it's
operating the
gone.
excavator, you didn't get his name, did you?
Well, he's been doing stuff in town.
The wall's gone, where'd it go?
That's a good question.
The one up by the cemetery, went into the cemetery or up on the
Where did this
cemetery
go?
wall. Where did the stones go?
Well, there was a tree removed.
Yeah.
Oak tree's been removed. On the corner, it looks, and there's been crushed gravel put in around it. It's apparent to me that they were trying to get rid of this corner so they could cut with vehicles.
So the inside of the wall you think has been removed?
If you don't mind,
Yeah, yeah, no.
There was
Kind of
barway,
figured
there
it
was
so.
So this was a corner here. That was like this is graphically shown here. If you took this there's the house, okay?
Yep,
So the house is here on this print. House is in here. So we're looking back here, I'm across the road where Barry's land used to be, Barry Ennis used to be. And if you look a few more, it'd help it probably get.
so is this what it looks like now? or-
Yes, sir.
Okay, and there was a stone wall there.
Well, that's what this says. And that was taken a few months ago. It's in here, under the wall is here.
Is that taken from the same area? Am I looking at the,
This is taken from the house now. This is taken back from the house over here. This is taken from the opposite side, looking back at the house. Different time periods, because this was earlier, before I left. I mean, it was about it was in the break of the storm when we had a thaw in there, and that's why that looks like that. Oh, no, I'll take that back. It was done last fall. That picture was taken last fall. So, I've noted here, there was an oak tree here on the right-of-way side of the wall. That was removed. This is new crushed gravel. So that now, this is it here too, the same thing. That's where the tree was.
And the tree was not given to us.
So, if you look now at the road, this is the road coming off of Sawyer, coming
Yeah.
down and around, the
so,
house would be
so
there.
this is the area you're referring
Yeah,
to?
and then this would be the area going back up like this.
Okay,
Current day picture, of course.
Cause if you go to, the pages are numbered, but if you go to this one where you're looking down the hill towards the corner.
Yeah.
The stone wall's well away from the road.
Yeah, it is.
It's
That's the
right-
one opposite, that's Barry's wall.
No, this is on your side.
That's right.
So the wall is, I mean, I can see it in there. On this side. This side of the road is your side of the road.
no, I think it's the
No,
other side.
that's my side, right there.
Okay, so this is going up the hill.
Well,
No, that's looking
it's
down the
really
hill.
going down, but it looks like it.
Let me show you this. Okay, that picture, we would have gone around the corner, and
Yeah.
it's taken from about here, looking down towards the bridge.
Okay.
And on the right-hand side is Barry, I'm gonna call it Barry's wall for the sake of discussion. And on the left is our wall.
So we don't have any pictures here
Of what?
of, well, I'm looking at the stone wall on Barry's side. And
Yeah.
it seems pretty clear that it's well out of the right of way, but I'm not seeing any wall on this side, or maybe it's just covered with snow.
Well, I can help you with that.
All right. Phones.
All right, this picture here is standing right here,
Okay,
looking down that wall,
okay. And that's,
and it's got stones.
right,
And in the reverse, this is standing down at the bridge,
And
looking
looking
up to the
back.
corner. There's stone.
right.
The stone has been removed.
Yeah.
The survey
I'm
said,
looking at,
the survey says it was there.
looking at this picture, there's no stone,
Right, it's gone.
it's gone,
Yes.
where'd it go?
Wait,
Jim?
good
I'm not aware of
question.
it, to be honest with you. I really
It's a
am.
good question. If you can answer that for me, please do.
I guess I need to go see it in person, to be honest with you.
Absolutely. Well,
Right.
okay.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to do is show that there's a problem here,
Okay, and
okay?
if we need to fix it, we'll put the rocks back. We have plenty of rocks.
Well, pins have been removed,
Pin's been removed.
surveyor's pin.
Right, and was,
Here's the
did
evidence.
you know where that, you were in the surveying business?
Yeah. Hold that thought for a minute. Okay. This survey was done for Dolan, which was the parent track for all of this. This is the corner we're talking about here. my associate here, what's your name?
Weeks.
Sue, signed it as the chairman of the planning board. And over here is Ken Levitt signing it as chairman of the Ossipee board, because this property at that time
Right.
was two properties. I'm well familiar with this.
No, I'm just wondering, just looking at the arrows, you know, on the pictures, you're confident that the disc was within the right of way?
That is the boundary of the right of way.
Okay.
Yes, now we got right of way, we can call it the right of way or the land, but actually it's the right of way over my land.
Right.
So the town only has a right of way over it, but
Right,
it's
but we have
destroyed.
the town can maintain their right of way. So,
Very true.
okay.
I own the
Can't
tree.
steal your rock.
That you can't steal my rocks. In fact, in 1791, they were paying attention to the stone walls. If you removed the boundary stone wall and or the clay, the dirt, the supporting underneath of it, you were fined. That's carried on until, and it is in, this is the most recent report of, this was online, but your version was, I think,
Yeah, I think
1907, it was
there's a
15.
copy of it kicking around here.
Well,
too.
that was a
Oh, I
15.
have a copy of that.
Yeah.
This is the brand new one. And it's clearly defined in here. I can, I mean, we can go through it, but let me finish here and I give you the,
No, I'm just thinking that you don't want it to happen again. So let's say we get the survey mark back where it was. Is that gonna present an ongoing problem with this drainage thing that you're working on?
all right. I'm trying to help a little bit. This, if you turn back here, if you would please, where the two corners are shown,
On this page, or?
I'll be honest with you, I guess. Excuse me, backside, by the way. Okay, this constitutes the corner here
Yep.
and here. This, as you know, was a junction of two roads at one time. There was a stop actually here, and the old road went up past Berry's here. So if you look down here, the stone wall for Berry is up here and the wall's down here. So there's a substantial amount of space up here. It
Yep.
just needs a wider curve. It doesn't have to hug the
Yeah,
stone
no, I
wall.
noticed on the map. that
So therefore, this drainage
the
could be put
roadway
in.
is really crowding.
Well, yeah.
Your side of the road.
And it was in the tree and the stone wall was in the way.
Right.
I'm sure some contractors, because there have been heavy concrete trucks going over that road and the bridge. Excavators on back of trucks, et cetera, that travel on that, which in my mind, that's another point I'd like to bring up, but that's not what my issue is here. They want to cut that corner shorter. Well, if you
Where are they
make the
going?
corner out wider, you don't need to cut that
Well,
corner
it
off.
seems like it would be okay. They should be able to swing that corner though.
And where are they going? I mean, there's your house that you built, but, lot.
You've got
finish
good
it,
questions. I don't know. Well, you'd be
and that
surprised.
hill going
Although,
up.
maybe the
by
logging equipment or
Hodgdon's.
something with some logging
Well,
equipment. in there
you've
last
had
week.
cement, you got your development on the upper end up there, and you got the concrete truck that comes out of Pearson, and they wanna make the shortcut by going up there.
Anyway, that
But any
doesn't
event,
matter.
that's not my point right now. My point is, there is a solution to this to satisfy the town, and just pull that corner away. Why they went in there and did it, I don't know. But they dug the tree roots out. Of course, tree roots hold back the soil, and that defeats some of the purposes there. Now, in addition to that, if you go down, excuse me for doing it. but
No,
it's
no,
handy.
That's what you do.
So if you go down there, you'll see that that's where a lot of water ponded up.
Yeah, that's
And
typical for this time of year. Yeah.
oh yeah, there's a lot of water. But the unique thing about this bridge, I don't think there's any passage open.
Just all rock.
Yeah.
And so what the water's gonna do is find its way through rock and take it with them, as evidence on the other side here. But that's, again, another topic. This being a relatively old bridge. So this is a dry,
It's
Relatively.
stretching the definition.
Yeah, I'm
of
not sure I'd call
bridge.
that a bridge,
Yeah.
but
well, that's what, it's a bridge, well, it was a bridge, but it was actually called a,
It's
it
forward.
looks like a pile of
culvert.
rocks.
It was, no,
Stone
it
culvert.
does now because it's been filled in. So,
I don't see any culvert, all I see is a pile of rocks.
Well-
That's new, that's new. That wasn't like that 2 years ago.
right here
It's been filled in.
Okay,
is
But
the,
this hasn't been filled in, that's,
All-
This has been filled in.
All these rocks here?
these
we
rocks
didn't
right
put
here.
those there, I guarantee you
Oh, I'm
that.
not saying you did, I just said it
If that was
has,
filled in, that was more than 16 years ago.
again, all I'm saying is that
The water finds its way through.
the water finds its way through, and if you look at the top of the bridge, you got a pothole this deep, so it's taking some more than just what's down there, it's taking the tops down, and it's sinking down into the,
So the.
your guardrails. You
Yeah.
can't drive guardrails into rock and have it stand up, and the new guardrails are put into Ossipee aggregate sand,
Mhm.
they're not gonna stand up.
Well, we talked about that a little earlier.
So this
Jim.
is the bridge, you can see it, this, here,
Correct me if I'm wrong, but what I've heard is that you're calling this a culvert, bridge culvert,
that's what it's called,
that had a passageway through it,
right?
and now you're saying that somebody recently,
No, I didn't say that, I just said the bridge the culvert has been filled in.
Oh.
I don't know when, I'm not accusing anybody on this stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, it's been like that since I started, that was 16
But,
years ago.
but what it does is, it's not a healthy bridge, because you got water taking the underpinning all the time. I mean, you should see the water that
So
flow
you
down.
think there was an
but
existing,
I think
Yes.
at one of the conversations we had in the previous session here was that you had made inroads about replacing that or rebuilding it and got stopped.
well, it wasn't us, it was when Rich Cody. tried
Okay,
to-
Reg Coley
Yes.
did.
This,
So is there some historical?
yeah, this is historic culverts. The
Right.
earlier ones were called culverts. It's not, I don't have a picture of it. There's two. There's one with a picture that's over in 109.
Mhm.
This one, and I'm, if you look at this, there's a chart here of the bridges, culverts. They're kind of an interchangeable word. It depended upon how big they were. And this, whatever you want to call it, is on here.
Right,
They didn't include it in the analyze because it was insufficient data, and the explanation was it was on private land. Well, it's not on private land, it's,
yeah, it's a town road.
so it's not, it hasn't had any attention, and I mean, that's another important thing, stone walls and that bridge ain't gonna, you're not gonna have another one of them. It may be a time to.
Well, there's a stone culvert up here by the trailer park that
Yeah.
the state just informed
Yeah.
us they were gonna replace.
Yeah, that's,
I don't think they're gonna put a stone culvert.
so that's the last one in town, as far as I know.
Well, we have one on Phineas, Willard. Willard.
Is it, is
Right.
it,
Yep, there's one on Welland,
but any event,
needs work, but there's
But
one there.
you get my point. And if
Yep.
you, on the picture here, that happening, the water is coming down, it's not going in the into the drains.
Yeah, I never knew there was like a hole all the way through.
Yep.
That's not been in my time.
I don't think
So
it was
we
in my
had-
time.
Okay.
And I've got a few years on you. 1, 2,
Yeah,
So we're gonna, we have the missing stones, the tree, nothing we can do about the tree, I guess. On the corner,
the missing marker.
and the missing marker.
so this would be the outlet. This is on, I would own the land here subject to the flowage. But if you look at the picture, you can see where it was filled in, because there's a distinct layering of rock in here. Now, I don't know what's under that.
Yeah, I always thought the whole thing was just rocks, that's what I thought it
No,
was.
it's not.
That's how it was explained to me from previous road agent, but I don't know if he knew either.
Yeah.
He just said, don't mess with it.
That's why.
And we also have a broken corner post at the cemetery.
and here's what's happening on the bridge.
The corner post we can fix, they actually have a glue for that.
The water's coming through on the surface and breaking through, and gonna break down the rest of the stones as it goes through. That's current,
And this is the outlet side, correct?
that's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this shows where you can see how the stone is stacked in differently than this. That's been filled in. And again, I don't know when, probably not in my lifetime.
Wasn't
Or
recent.
chips.
No.
Or maybe it wasn't, no, I guess it wasn't in yours.
Oh,
Now, I want to continue on
Yeah, this
with
is
the
the-
wall between my house. If you go back to the survey, if I may. Here. No, excuse me, that's the wrong one. Here. The wall turns. There's supposedly an iron pin in that stone wall, I mean, a drill hole, and supposedly a drill hole here, which defines my lower corner. I think that one's probably there, I just couldn't get it in the water, but I don't know, because this has been covered over by the town. They've added to that, I know, and this is the end nearest the road coming down. So that would be this section right here, is that section. Right here, that's the section here. And this plateau has been buried, and I've got a picture on it in here, I think.
so this picture's looking back towards the corner that's been disturbed, right?
Right. It comes out as an it comes out at an angle like
Yeah.
this, turns to the right and goes straight up the side of the road. So where we're looking is that stone wall is right here. On this survey, here, you'll note that, not that one, this one here. Now again, the corner we're talking about is this corner. So this wall comes down, it curves this way. That drill hole in here I can't find because and this stone wall here and that stone wall are no longer there. That's prior to this current discussion, I'm sure. But I mean, it's been removed over the years, or they've built up and filled that in and made that part of the roadway. But in any event, the point being is, I can't locate this because it's under dirt. So I need to have that relocated at least. I
Okay.
think this one is
So
probably,
you're on this side, right?
no, we're on this side. There's the house
Okay.
side right there. This came up and was divided into two lots.
So down here, you're saying there should be a drill hole in a rock?
I mean, that's what the plan's calling for.
And is the rock still there, or is it completely buried and you can't see
I
it?
don't know what rock, I can't, there's no rocks I can look at. I haven't done it because this wasn't a problem until recently, so, I mean, that's been underwater, so it's kind of chilly this time of year. But I'm surmising that if stuff's been put on top of it, it's certainly probably not in its right original location. So there's no way to define, as it stands, no way to define this bit in here because it's buried.
And you're suggesting that the town is responsible for that for years of road maintenance?
No, I'm suggesting that was, when I came to the property, which is 3 years ago, I could see the stone wall. And the only construction that's gone on down there is what's happened recently.
Due to road work?
Yeah,
So you're suggesting that,
So,
what I just said, that the town is responsible for
right, but I'm not
for burying
saying it's because it was done a long time ago, I'm saying recently it's been done.
Okay.
And I'm sure the operators will substantiate that.
So right in here, there should be a wall you think might be buried?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess I need to go see this.
yeah, I think,
I would strongly urge you to come see it, I would hope.
Maybe you could show me a little bit more in detail.
Oh, absolutely, I'm more than happy, so let me
and then
know
take
when
a
you
look
wanna
at
go.
that corner
Hmm,
and try to locate the missing rocks.
yeah,
Yeah, find the missing rocks one. I do want, like, I really don't wanna come up here and have blonde rocks and older
If
ancient
you
rocks.
get the kind of rocks we can get for you, that's all we can get.
No, like kind,
we can get, we
like
can get the
kind.
good stuff.
You want pre-age, pre-aged rocks?
Yeah, 19, probably from about 1812 would be good. I'll
No
give
new
you,
rocks.
No new rocks.
and I don't want any big I'm not saying
And
this.
they'd have moss.
What I'm saying
Is there
is,
such thing as a new rock?
I don't
They're
want
all
you
old.
to go and take the big boulder and put it there, and that's
I
it.
just don't know why they would have taken the wall out.
No, me either, that doesn't make
I
any
mean,
sense.
Because of the
you need to get
corner.
to the bottom of
It's
that.
obviously,
Right, but who would have done that? Like, somebody that had to have a reason to
no,
do
this
that.
isn't stolen rock. This is all, if you're gonna steal a rock, you go and take it like this, and you leave the ground as it is. This ground's been all dug up.
So the rocks may still be there.
Maybe there. They may be in the hole where the tree stump was.
Yeah.
I don't know. If I knew where
But
the
you don't
rock
need
was,
to
I'd be
go out
glad to
and
tell
see
you.
it.
Yeah, that's the only way I can really get to the
Yeah,
bottom of this, is I
yeah.
have to, because this is just new to me, and I don't know.
Cause you got
anything
two
about it.
problems, you got the missing pin and then you got the corner with no rocks. And
But they're
Drill
both,
holes.
are they still in the same spot, the missing
What?
pin and the rock, missing rocks?
I have no idea.
No, where was the pin that's missing, was it in this spot?
Yeah, right there, and it's got gravel.
And
Crushed
the-
stone
And
probably
there
in
was a
there.
pin in there at one point.
Oh, that survey, which is, this is the survey I purchased, so it was there. And in 1985, it was there because it identifies whose surveying hub it is.
Okay, I mean, I'm just trying to figure out where I'm supposed to be looking for the missing pin.
So you
I
had two
do have a
missing pins.
Metal detector.
Right.
Yeah.
And sorry, forgive me if I missed it. Is the pin actually been removed, or is it potentially buried? That's my question.
Yeah, it could be
Where did the
right,
rocks
who
go?
knows?
We're back to that.
I'm not being wise, but it's probably gone where the rocks went.
Oh, you think they pinned the rock? Don't they generally go a little
No,
more
I'm just
secure
saying.
than that?
If you got some, this has been disturbed by a large
Yeah.
piece of equipment.
Right.
They could have just grabbed the whole thing and maybe they put it down the bridge to put more side of the bridge on. I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't think we did anything like that, but I know we didn't put any dirt down by the bridge, but we'll take a look.
Appreciate
Oh,
it.
You gotta show me. You gotta,
I will.
Yeah, and
More
take your
detail.
operator out there.
Yeah, I will.
You might want some booze. Depending upon when the storm comes. I would suggest you go before the storm because we'll see more than.
you around tomorrow?
Around tomorrow.
I don't know what you're gonna see until after the snow's gone, period. I was down there, I took a drive down there the day after we talked last. And, there was, even then, before the snowstorm that we just got, there was still a substantial amount of snow in the gullies and,
It's been melting.
What
I
not?
took that today.
okay?
So the snow's gone now?
It's wet walking.
Yeah, but we can
We're
see.
talking the road
Yeah.
and it's,
So tomorrow, what time would you like to meet down there?
I'm up 5:30, you wanna go?
In the morning?
Yeah.
I'm awake, tell you that right now.
I didn't
little
say I
dark.
was awake, I just said I'm up there.
Yeah, and then the next.
There,
meeting,
there, that I took last night, so that's standing at the corner.
Well, we should be able to see enough, at least I know what we're looking for.
You gotta know the problem. That was taken within the last day. That was taken after the storm we just had. there's an example of that.
Well, I think it would be best for the selectmen that the two experts come back to us after they've gone out and taken a look at it.
And then we can review, possibly next Tuesday. I might
Yeah,
go on
that's-
the roads.
If we're in the area, I don't see why not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Tuesday.
Okay.
It'll be covered, it'll be covered with snow.
You know,
Maybe.
It might be.
Maybe.
Have your operator go with you, because,
Oh, I will.
you know, when I looked at the cemetery activity, I don't know that he had a lot of oversight.
I mean, before we left, I was out talking with another gentleman that comes from Massachusetts someplace. And he said, I was chatting with him, and he says, that the road is gonna be widened, has to be widened,
Well, just on the corners, on, not
Because
that
we-
corner, but by the cemetery is over.
because we need to have 2 fire trucks pass.
What?
He's an ex-fireman, and he's in Massachusetts, he came up
Tell
here.
him not to live out.
He's the one who was on the chainsaw, he was doing the cutting of the trees. By the way, there was no, they were just dropped,
Yeah.
pretty dangerous nowadays. Unless they had it tied up to the exit, I don't know what they did, but any event, his sense of the objective is to make it wide enough so two fire trucks could.
There's a lot of roads in town that you can't fit 2 fire trucks
Exactly,
side by side.
exactly.
And I guarantee you, we're not gonna be widening those roads just for that.
Well, I was gonna say, why don't you do a couple there before you do this
Yeah.
one?
But if you look at the road, in the 5 years, 6 years we've owned the property, it's changed substantially, and it's very much wider than it was. And they're cutting down trees that aren't ash trees, right on, right by the stone walls.
Ash trees are.
I know, that
Yeah,
are not
that's-
ash
that's-
trees. I'm saying they're cutting massive trees down, and the road is substantially wider, and it doesn't look like it was a road that was supposed to be.
We tried to widen the area by the cemetery, because that was dangerous from a farm. That
But
was,
even
too
further
tight.
up.
that I had no part of, I don't know how that happened.
This is.
Are these trees within the right of way?
Yes,
The towns that, the trees
Yes.
that were cut down?
yeah, but the trees are owned by the landowner.
No, I realize that.
Right, but we can still cut them down.
We can still
Just
cut them
get the
down, just
wood.
gotta leave the wood.
If you let the landowner know. No one discussed trees coming down, and and the landowner could say, I don't want it down. And if the tree, well, read this.
And the trees also become the property of the landowner. And
Right.
when we
The
came
wood.
back, our trees was gone.
The wood's
In a way,
being,
we didn't know
Yeah, the wood's gone,
it's
yeah,
gone.
yeah.
but it belongs to the landowner.
There's people all the time, when the tree cutters cut
I
down
know,
trees,
I know.
people cut down and
But
take
if we
wood.
had
But if
known,
you were at the school, I stopped a guy and said, did you talk to the landowner? Cause he owns the trees, you don't.
Yeah, you
It's
can't
not
do
town
that.
trees,
Cause I
That came up last week too on
yeah.
There was a-
another road.
a car and a truck outside of my house getting, Eileen pointed out to me, picking up wood on the, let's call it the,
Ennis, berries,
Barry's side. So if you wanted to assume that the line went down, the right-of-way line goes down the middle, that half of the forest
Right.
would be his. And so I went out, I said, gee, I hate to do this, but I talked with Sandy, who lives in the house next door, and they burn wood. And I said, she was down there earlier getting some of the wood for herself. And so I went down there, and there's 2 guys out there with a chainsaw, and I'm glad before I said anything, I looked around the car, and Sandy was on the other side. But that's what happens, you leave it there, and it'll disappear.
I'm guessing the tree may have been put onto that side of the property too and was taken down. Could have been over there with that wood.
It could be.
Yeah.
The guy riding with the excavator looked at me, and I said, well, there's no question, I don't have a wood stove now, and I was gonna give it to the neighbor anyway, that's where it was gonna go, so that, I mean, again, I don't wanna nitpick on that, but it's something that maybe the town ought to advise people that, what happens to an oak log? It's got lumber in it. That's box.
Yeah,
We're not talking firewood now, we're talking about someone puts it on the back of their truck and take off with it, they got
No, I guess.
quite a few $100.
Well,
Plus, if they take stones, as you know, are big money nowadays.
Well,
Yeah, we're still looking for the stones.
yeah, well, I'm sure we can help you out. I don't know how much we can help you out yet. I guess that's gonna be determined by,
I'll try to help you out
The
by
next-
saying, put the curve up a little higher so this doesn't have to happen again.
well, you guys are gonna come back with a recommendation, I presume?
Yeah, I mean, if we can come to an easy agreement right on the spot and take care of it, then that would,
Well,
If it satisfies you,
get
then-
three.
it might be something simple.
I'm more than willing to try to do that. Go ahead.
Oh, what time are you guys gonna meet tomorrow?
What's that? Oh, we haven't figured out which time for tomorrow.
What am I doing wrong, you know?
Okay.
You gonna, join them? Are you gonna join them?
No, our secretary
You're-
wanted to
you're
have it
free
in
tomorrow.
minutes.
Oh,
Your call, I'm free tomorrow.
Do you wanna do it in the morning?
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, it's gonna rain, let's do it early.
You're better off doing it earlier than
Yeah,
you are
we
later.
don't know what's gonna happen afterwards, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think we're okay for tomorrow, but Wednesday, I think is when we have the snow coming in.
Yeah.
But, if we could do it, well,
It-
how early,
Well, let's put it this way.
would 8 o'clock
When
be
you
too early?
wanna come out, yeah, give me a buzz before you leave and I'll
Okay.
get ready.
So
Okay.
8 o'clock, we
8
need
o'clock,
something for our minutes, 8 o'clock is.
8 o'clock, yep,
Yeah.
Now when you're thinking
Yeah.
about it.
okay.
If there's any discrepancy, he'll call me before he leaves the house.
We don't wanna hear about anything after that.
What? I didn't hear you.
no,
No, when you adjust things out in the field, that's fine, you can do that on your own.
Okay.
That's
Now,
fine.
Susan, I assume that your interest is in the corner post,
The corner post,
That we can fix.
I know it's winter time and they're probably gonna do more cleanup in the spring. You know, they picked up some already. There seems to be a couple of extra rocks
Yeah.
on top of the wall.
I bet you know where that came from.
I know, a spot for 'em.
They're big. He probably doesn't want
No,
them, but,
they're too big for me.
And it doesn't look, at all look like a cemetery wall.
No,
Yeah, I looked it
they
up.
just were put on top.
Yeah.
They may be resting there.
And I'm assuming those will get taken care of.
Yep, I'll take a look at it.
You'll see it.
Is
Are
that,
they like brown ones that are dug out of the ground and set on top?
Yeah.
Okay.
is that corner post that's broken in half, is the repair good enough? Is that satisfactory?
They're all leaning,
It's split it.
and so if they can straighten it and glue it, then, or cement it, whatever.
Yeah, they have
whichever
a-
it is.
It's like a glue, it's epoxy, you just put on it, it's really strong.
Should we have the person that does our cemetery repair that?
I don't know, I'll ask her.
The one that does our headstone repair?
Yeah, I'll ask her.
No, I'm sure you're capable, but I would think that if they're gonna be in town doing work, that
Well,
might,
I mean, ideally, if we were gonna really do it right, we'd dig all four of them up and reset them, because they're all leaning. So
They're all gonna
I'll get her
snap
to
because
look at it.
they can't take any pressure on it.
I'll send her pictures and
Did you have anything to
get
add?
some feedback and get in touch with Jim. Or you guys or whatever.
well, I think, my opinion is, I think that the person that repairs our headstones should be the person that fixes that. But if it's,
Yeah, I don't, some of the stuff that's really broken all the way through, she makes metal frames for,
mhm.
to hold them together, rather than relying on glue. So, I don't know if she would do that for these
Yeah, that's why I'm asking, I'm not sure just gluing it and putting it back on top is,
I've
Is-
glued
is-
one before, they, it works perfect. You would not even tell me
So
did it.
let's,
Got a couple
Mr. Chairman,
mounds out front.
maybe we could just have a more fulsome report the next time we meet after they've gone out.
Yeah.
Cause I'm not sure Jim's ready to give us all the answers we need,
mhm.
cause he hasn't really looked at it.
Right,
I saw the post.
No, I know you saw it, but we have the rest of it to deal with too.
Okay,
Table it until.
yeah? Yeah, until we know what direction we're going.
Do you want those plans? You've got them in your files.
If we have them, we should be all set, you can take them.
I've got them, you want them, If not,
hold on to them until,
Yeah, we've got
and
your
if we need them, we
pictures.
know where to find you.
certainly, yeah.
No, take your plans. Take your plans.
I've noted them in here too.
Yep.
On the second page.
Yep, I saw it.
And Jack
I saw
can
it.
pull them out of your files, I'm sure.
Right.
You know, surveying anyway. So, and new things.
Like-
All right, anything you'd like to add? Did we push you along too fast?
Nope. Anything you wanna add?
No, I think,
Any
that-
concerns?
and we'll talk tomorrow.
Yeah, that's,
Okay,
Good.
Thank you, Ken, for coming.
Thank you. I'm gonna take one of these back, so I got one if that's all right.
And you get one here.
This is yours,
No, I didn't,
I'll
but that's,
leave one for me.
if that's okay.
Yeah.
perfect, thank you.
We get, get one to,
Yeah, it's,
I have a copy.
I'll see you tomorrow, Ken.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you all,
You're welcome.
appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, and don't forget your jacket.
Get my cap, I forget everything.
All right, next is our monthly report for our from our interim police chief. Come on up. Very well.
Good. Now, please say that you already have my memo, because I didn't make any copies.
no, I can run and copy it.
Okay.
You
There's a
sent it
front and
last
back
week,
on that.
we have your,
Sorry about that. This is our first week of submitting them ahead of time.
Okay, we're good? Okay. Welcome, chief.
How are you?
Very well.
Good.
Yourself?
Good. Thanks for your help.
thanks.
Have the pardon my pigeon scratch at the top there.
Blood.
We were-
Pathogens.
Hey, that's pretty good
Really?
if you can read my writing. So,
Not egregious.
yeah, not too bad, huh?
Bully-free workplace.
That's right.
You know,
From management, yeah, absolutely. So, yeah. So as far as training goes, I attended a meeting put on by New Hampshire Homeland Security. It was for Governor Wentworth Regional School District, and it was held over at Crescent Lake School in Wolfboro. And what they did was they had us broken down into any town that has a school in its town. Of course, we have Tuftonboro Central School. So the principal was there, Captain Caleb Pike was there, and myself were there at our table. And they did a tabletop exercise where they had three different size sheets, or three different sheets, and we went down through questions with a scenario of a mass shooter that entered the school and what we would do. It was really good. It was good to be in the same room with the superintendent and all the principals and a lot of faculty for each school to really start to bounce around a lot of different ideas. They either have worked or have not worked in other jurisdictions. I think that at our table, some things came up as we were bantering ideas around that we might want to revisit our plan in case there is an emergency at the school. So that might be forthcoming down the tubes. So that was a good training that day. Both Officer LaFave and I, we went online and did some training. One was personal protective equipment, and the other was bloodborne pathogens. The Joint Loss Safety Committee was looking to have employees from each department do some type of training so that they could document it as such. So we went ahead and did those things that would apply to our job. I started out with the other two things, avoiding wrongful termination class and creating a bully-free workplace for management. And then I kind of realized that that probably didn't
So-
coincide with safety or...
So the managers aren't bullied? I like that.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah.
You can bully the rank and file all you want, just not the managers, right?
The rank
That
and
was
file
it.
cannot bully the managers.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay.
Call outs. We had 2 alarms, the night of the 20th and the night of the 22nd. We also, Officer Lefebvre got called out for an untimely death on the 23rd. And there was nothing suspicious there. It was just a natural cause. So looking ahead at our stats here compared to 2023 and 2024, roughly we're still holding about the same. The incidents, which are investigations, we get a few more this time frame of last year, and felonies were down a couple still, from this time last year. Felonies last year, 2 of them were computer crimes. One was identity theft, and there were 2 that were larceny. So that would be anything, a larceny being a felony would be anything over $1,000 or $1,500 respectively. Felonies for 2024, 1 computer crime, 1 larceny, and a theft from a motor vehicle. When you steal a firearm, it automatically becomes a felony. So that was our other felony for this year.
There's a theft of a firearm out of the motor vehicle.
Out of a vehicle, yeah, that was parked, yeah. Let's see, Officer Lefebvre and I have conducted 36 directed patrols since February 20th when I became intern chief, different areas of town for traffic enforcement. If you don't know already, the shredding company did come on March 18th, picked up all the boxes in the garage, as well as some from here. The conditional offer for the candidate, he completed a psychological evaluation. He is a positive plus for that. He passed. And so we're working with setting up his polygraph and the medical exam. I learned trying to set up a medical exam for him that a lot of places are asking for payment up front. For some reason or another, they don't want to necessarily bill the town of Tufton Borough. So I know a lot of agencies are turning around and they're having the candidate make the payment and then the town reimburses. I've been talking with Audrey about this before she went on vacation, and I think we'll come to a resolution. I have to be honest with you, gentlemen. I have an issue with a candidate paying for a test that we're mandating. So I'm trying to facilitate that. I asked Huggins to see if they would open up some type of a contract type basis that they have something on their end that says that the town of Tufton Borough will in fact pay for that service they provide. I just haven't got it in hand yet. So when I get that, I'll make sure you guys are privy to that. $80. Not huge money for us. The fire department has a totally different thing that could be hundreds of dollars, but for us, it's going rates anywhere from $80 to $130 is what I believe is the going rate.
No, I agree with you. They shouldn't have to pay for something that we're mandating.
Yeah. So I'm still working on that part. In the meantime,
Even if they're reimbursed.
right. Yeah. Drug take back will be April 27th from 10 to 2 up at the transfer station. So Officer Lefebvre will be up there conducting that. And before we got into the draft on the cruiser, I just wanted to bring up the point that I sent Officer Lefebvre up to the Easter egg hunt that Parks and Rec were putting on at Camp Sentinel on Saturday to make an appearance. And he reported back to me that there was a good number of kids that turned out. So sounds like Dennis and the camp did another bang up job. And there were a lot of smiles on little kids' face. So that's good to hear. And everything went good. So, yeah. And then I've included, Cammy was able to find the invitation to bid that Chief Shigori had done back when we were getting rid of the truck. And I consolidated it a decent amount. There were some redundant areas. Instead of I did get yours, Bob, that you had sent me as well. I just figured plugging in the vehicle information and leaving some of the wordage as is would be the way to go. And it also had a, on this back page, it also had some type of information that I guess the town had used before to, send in with whatever, to get ready to go or whatever their bid was. So, just wanted to give that out to you guys for review. The dates, pretty sure I put the dates in here.
You did.
Yep. Oh, right at the top. Yep. Cammy was talking about trying to set. Obviously, we have to have it out there within for a certain amount of time, and then have it reviewed by you folks after the fact. She threw out those numbers there, pending on how soon, if it's okay with you guys to get it out there on the street. Those are obviously something that we can move around if we don't meet the deadlines. But
Looks good. I'll move that this is a good application and you can get the RFP out there immediately.
I can second that.
It's been seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 And I believe that's all I have for you folks.
I mean, it's a little confusing, but I guess we're okay. That the town can reject all bids on a particular vehicle if the bids are substantially below fair market value. And we're setting a minimum of 2,500, so that's our estimation of fair market value. Or are we willing to take less than 2,500?
No, I think that I don't want to speak for the interim chief here, but I think $2,500 is an amount that's somewhat below fair market value, giving room for
Yeah.
bidding. But if you
Honestly, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
no. I mean, you want to be able to get as close as you can to fair market value, or more. But to have nothing, somebody could walk away with this thing for $30.
Right,
Oh,
I
yeah.
appreciate that, you can set a minimum bid, which we did, but then to include the last line, it's just confusing, that's all. Without limiting the foregoing, and although no specific reserves have been set, but we did set a reserve.
Actually, you did set a reserve.
$2,500. The
Okay.
town may reject all bids on a particular vehicle if the bids are substantially below fair market value. I think that doesn't have any use here, if you could.
What would you like me to strike?
The last sentence.
The whole sentence.
The whole last sentence.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree.
How did you come up with the 2,500?
That actually, I was just going to say that actually was what I believe was recommended by Chief Shigori for the Dodge Ram or the Ram pickup. So I just left it as such. It most certainly can be moved around. What I did not do is I did not look for any type of a fair market value on the Explorer prior to doing this. So,
It's more around 10,000.
Yeah, I was gonna say that 2,500 sounds pretty darn low.
Yeah.
Are you doing a blue book?
If you do,
No, I just did a search for, you know, look at Kelly.
if you do a Kelly Blue Book, you need to cut that by 50%,
Yeah, I was just seeing what was on the market right now.
because it's,
What are you, an expert on
I used to,
it? I know.
I mean, I think we've notified everybody it's a surplus police vehicle, so that's, got that part done. How much did we get for the Ram, do you remember?
It was like, I don't know, 3,000, 3,100 or something like that.
Okay.
It's like 31, 33. I think
Yeah.
you're right. Yeah.
Low 3,000s.
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean 2,500 would be a steal for. I mean, it's only what is that? 8 years old, and 108,000 miles. That seems 2,500 seems pretty low.
Yep.
We're selling it as is, so don't say a word. I was gonna ask.
As is, as seen.
With all
Yeah.
improvements and deficiencies.
That's right.
I think at a minimum you'd wanna go to like 6,500, but the lowest one I saw was 10 without putting in all the specifics about it.
Right.
So I think you should increase that in this bill.
And with the understanding that you have holes in the headliner and plugged from the outside of the cruiser where the wires went up through and the roof and that kind of thing. So I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Like 5, I think would be a good number to start with.
55?
5,000.
5,000.
Oh, somebody will buy it. They'll love it.
If they don't, put it out again at a lower amount.
Okay.
I'm going at 8.
So I will, minimum bid will be increased to 5,000. I will strike the last sentence.
Thank you.
Is that it?
I think that
Did
was
you need
it.
to re-vote on that or?
Yeah.
And if
Okay.
you provide it to me, I can put it on NHMA.
Perfect. Okay. Absolutely.
And all the work's done on the new cruiser. Is that on the road now? Okay,
I have been enjoying it immensely.
I did.
Yep. Yep. And Tom is in the 22. So
Okay.
we're both running the black cruisers. The silver ones are sitting out there
Right.
waiting to be occupied.
And sometime in the past, you mentioned when we were talking about you becoming the chief of police for a period of time, that there was a fully qualified police officer that might be interested in coming here.
I actually have 2 certified officers that have given me my their resumes.
Okay. And is there a time frame you're working on there?
No, I think the first step on the matter is to figure out where the chief's position is going. If that
Okay,
opens
you-
up a
You
slot.
don't wanna hire
So,
as the interim, is that what you're saying?
excuse me.
You don't wanna hire in the position?
I don't
you're
have a
at?
position right now.
Okay,
Right. Yes, I wouldn't be able to.
okay.
We voted on this at $2,500, including the last sentence. Do we want to re-vote on this?
I'll make a motion that we approve the
Amended?
revised plan for sale of the Explorer.
With a minimum bid of,
5,000 and no last sentence.
and
but-
striking last sentence, okay.
Yeah.
Second?
I'm second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, cool.
Okay.
Okay. So we're not gonna meet for another 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
And then the chief will come in and see us then,
Mhm.
right? So are the meeting that we're having on a week from tomorrow to go right around the roads? We're gonna notice that as an official selectmen's meeting,
We have to.
okay? So maybe we can discuss police matters as well.
You're discussing them later tonight as well.
We're doing that today.
I'm not worried about that part of it, I'm worried about getting another officer on, cause I don't think having 2 officers going into the summer is a good thing.
Okay.
I might be able to help with that later too.
And we have to, I gotta talk about that in non-public.
Yes,
Some of the stuff that we
Definitely.
discussed during the interview.
definitely in non-public.
I'm sorry?
Definitely in non-public.
Right,
All right, are we all set with
I think so.
with our interim chief?
Unless you have anything else for us, chief.
I don't. I think that's all I've got for you at this point.
All right.
And I'll be back in on duty tomorrow, so I'll amend that bid and I'll make sure that I slide it over this way to Audrey and to
So
Camby.
are we, not to, dawdle around, are we cleaning the garage now, cause the office looks wonderful?
Yes,
Okay,
yes. It was really hard to even think about looking at the garage when there were 43 plus boxes to be shredded.
right.
Now that those are out of there, yes, I've spoken with Chris Rule. He said that he would come down with a trailer and anything that needs to be discarded will be picked up and discarded. So that is the next step. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So,
Excellent.
And I'm sure you're on top of your evidence locker and all that stuff, or do you
Yeah.
have anything in the evidence locker?
yes, we do. Yeah, we have quite a bit. Officer LaFave is the evidence officer and he is always staying on top of that. Obviously, if there is some stuff that was evidence, he needs to file motions in court to destroy them, so to speak, so we can get rid of stuff. So he has been routinely working on that, and some of the stuff that was evidence or recovered stuff that was stored in the garage, he's been working diligently to get some of that stuff taken care of. So we don't have much of that in the garage hanging around anymore. So we had some bikes that were turned in that hadn't been accounted for by, with any owners coming forward or anything like that. So we actually, I had seen somewhere that the Carroll County Jail was using some type of a program to restore bikes and do certain things, and we were able to locate, I don't know if it was part of the restorative justice program or who it was. Tom was able to locate that individual. We turned those bikes over so that they could be repurposed and fixed up and used by somebody, whether it's kids or adults. So we got those out of the garage, and so we're plugging away at it.
Good.
Yeah. Yep. So,
I'm done.
Set?
All set.
All right.
Thank
all right.
very
Thank
much.
you for your time.
Have a good night.
Thank you, Jamie.
Next is non-public.
Is it or?
What?
is it-
No, not yet. Do you
Do you
want to
wanna
go through
do-
folders first?
Do you wanna do the folders?
Then you
What do you guys want to do? That's not the way it's listed on my agenda, but
No, but it's much easier for us to record it rather than
Mhm.
coming in and out.
fine with me.
Sure.
All right.
Is
And
the signature file?
next we go through the signature file.
Excuse me.
First item is an abatement recommendation for property located at tax map block lot number 69-2-73. Recommendation is to take the previous assessment of $319,700, revised assessment of $196,500. And it comes with a recommendation from our,
Right, it's an unfinished interior, I think is the reasoning. I'll make a motion that we accept that abatement, or recommend that abatement.
I'll second that.
motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Next is an application for a current use assessment. On Tibbetts Hill Road. Which block is marked approved. Is that a recommendation?
That is, I believe, a recommendation from the assessor.
Okay.
So I'll make a motion that we approve that.
I'll second that.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Four.
April Fools.
It is. We have another application for a current use assessment. The Dancy Family Trust, 116 acres. Acres to be enrolled, 106.
I'll make a motion that we approve that.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
And none of these will really take effect because it is April Fool's Day.
Oh, okay.
Just joking.
Good to know.
Have a copy of the town report or budget with you? Yeah. The next we have ambulance service agreement for 2024. This has been recommended by the fire chief. And the amount for 2024 is $216,000. Excuse me, $216,858.49 for the calendar year of 2024. Is that
That's what I was wondering. How does that jive?
What did I see the amount was again? It's in line with budget.
Then I'll make a motion that we sign the agreement.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
There's another one over here. No, you already signed it.
Next, we have two notices of appointment for the planning board. We have two planning board alternates, Michael James and Kevin McDonald. I was at the planning board meeting last Thursday night when these gentlemen, 2 Thursdays ago, when these gentlemen came and introduced themselves, and we interviewed them, and we recommend them for appointment. So I'd make a motion that we appoint Michael James and Kevin McDonald as planning board alternates.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And are they gonna decide who the chairman of the planning board is this work session?
That, I was gonna bring that up in my
Okay. so-
selectmen's update.
But I'll wait.
Happy to,
I'll wait.
happy to tell you now.
I don't wanna take anything away. The iron was hot and he struck.
The answer is yes. We're having a work session on Thursday. We're gonna be ironing that out, and we have a plan.
Well, that's good.
And we have an administrative tax abatement. Apparently, checks and bills crossed in the mail. So the Larison Family Trust is owed $24.62.
I'll move that we pay them.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I think the explanation that Jackie gives for that is that the accumulated amount in the escrow account, so some people ends up getting paid to the town, and it's generally more than the taxes owed by some small amount of money.
Okay, usually, but in this case, payment passed in the mail with the certified mail for, yes. Looks like we have a tax levy for Stephen Berry for an amount of $508.53.
Is it the timber tax levy? Must be,
Original warrant yield tax levy.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion that we sign that levy.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And a personnel action form. This is a form to bring back Ella Meserve as our Parks and Rec swim instructor. She did there's a note here, this will be her second year, and she did a great job, and she's coming back, hopefully to do another great job.
This has got 2 signatures, so.
Oh, okay. I'll get it on the way back through.
And so we're rehiring,
Rehiring Ella Meserve as a swim instructor.
okay. I'll make a motion we rehire her.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Action items. The article for the Tufton Borough Times is due Friday, April 5th. That's like this week.
That's sweet.
And I'm up for this one, so okay, I will. I'll get to penning an article.
And then, yeah, so then I get the next one.
Yeah.
I got summer.
Let's see. Follow up for training classes to be completed by the end of May. Joint Loss Management Committee training classes. If any of our department heads or employees that are supposed to be taking these have not, we need to get them done by the end of May. Any questions?
I did send out a reminder to the department heads.
Okay. Let's see. We have something from the assessor's office. As you're probably aware, the Board of Tax and Land Appeals, BTLA, found in favor of the Ratcliffes in their appeal of their assessment due to the nuisance created by the track located at, says 171 Mountain Road. I think they mean to say
Route 171.
171, also known as Mountain Road.
Hmm.
As you are also aware, there have been many property owners in the area that have also expressed concerns about this. Rod Wood, our assessor, is recommending that the town be proactive in regards and adjust assessments in accordance with the BTLA decision of other properties in the area, so as to reduce the number of abatement requests for the 2024 assessments.
Well, not knowing what Ratcliffe was given for
Yeah.
abatement, it's kind of difficult to judge what proactive abatement we might wanna give
Yeah, I'm not
somebody
sure we
else.
can be proactive without any information. I would recommend that anybody that wants an abatement follow the same process that Ratcliffe's went through and appeal through the BTLA before they come to
Or-
us.
Or, well, the first step is to ask for an abatement here. I
Mhm.
think, I don't know when the window closes on that, but it's pretty quickly. And then if we reject them, then they go to BTLA, but BTLA won't take it without our rejection. So,
I think they should go through the same process
yeah,
that the Ratcliffe's went through.
yeah, absolutely. And there's a second half of that letter, which I think needs a lot more explanation as well, which is the current use status of the racetrack property.
Mhm.
So I don't know how we can't act until we're fully informed
Correct.
in both cases.
So is the track on current use
Yeah.
area?
Do you need
The tracks on current use area?
Yeah.
well, this is public information, so I'll just read it. The Board of Tax and Land Appeals has issued an order. If I'm reading this right. Based on information brought to the attention of the board at a hearing for a 2022 property tax appeal, see Ratcliffe BTLA docket number 30665-22PT, the board, pursuant to its authority contained in RSA 79A:12, paragraph 2, opens an investigation into the town's current use classification and assessment of map 36, lot 3 through 7, located at 196 Mountain Road, owned by Normie's Pond 2010 Revocable Trust. At the December 12th, 2023 Ratcliffe hearing, the parties discussed that 196 Mountain Road has been utilized as a motocross, again they spelt it wrong, it's motocross racetrack. In response to board questions, the town's assessor acknowledged the majority of the racetrack property is assessed open space land pursuant to RSA 79A:5. Open space land is any or all farmland, forest land, or unproductive land as defined in this section. Before the board determines whether there is a need to assert its jurisdiction, the town is ordered to provide the board within 30 days its position on whether the current use classification of 196 Mountain Road is proper. Next bullet point, any and all documentation regarding the current use classification of 196 Mountain Road. Next bullet point, any and all information or documentation relating to the construction and or expansion and ongoing use of the racetrack. And, last bullet point, whether its use as a racetrack is considered a non-qualifying use and therefore subject to a land use change tax. See RSA 79A:7. Upon receipt of the documentation for the town, the board will determine whether further proceedings under RSA 79A:12 and Part Tax 208 are appropriate. So ordered, BTLA. So,
That,
they're ordering us to adopt a position.
well, I mean, I certainly don't know enough about this topic to make a decision. This sounds like a legal matter.
It does.
Well, we adopted a position in adopting current use. So does the current use law or regulation control the activity on that land to the extent of not allowing or allowing or whatever racetrack? We did ask for an opinion from our attorney last year, I think it was, wasn't it sometime last year? We asked her about this and got,
I think that determination has already been made by the board, by the previous Board of Selectmen before David sat on it. I believe that we already,
no, we never addressed the current use part of it.
No, but in order to address the current use, you have to make a determination of whether it's a racetrack or not. By
And
definition.
that decision was never voted on.
No, we never
We never,
affirmed a decision.
right, on whether or not it was a racetrack. It was
Correct.
private use with more, I mean, we accepted, Vidum's explanation of friends and family driving motorcycles on his property. Doesn't really rise to the level of organized racetrack.
Correct.
So that's what we accepted, as I remember.
I
And then
I agree.
Here we are. So Ratcliffe had a noise problem, and that got abated. Now BTLA is asking us if it qualifies for, or that use qualifies under our current use. So we need the assessor to give us an opinion.
Is the purpose of that solely to raise the taxes on the property?
Well, if it's being used for use other than what the current use permits, then yes.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Like, in other words, this isn't going to necessarily solve the sound problem,
Correct.
right? All this does is de-incentivize the owner just to stop using it as, if that's, in other words, if it's determined that current use, it no longer applies, then the additional tax that would be paid by the owner is the incentive, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
That's all we're talking about. I just want to be clear.
Yes, but also I think we need to be very, very careful, and this is where we're going to need attorney's advice, is when we make this decision, even though it may be based on purely on current use, what are the ramifications of that decision? Does that open up the door for the court case to be relooked at?
It could. I mean, or they could find themselves having to go back to the planning board. I don't know if they ever went to the planning board.
The aggrievers went to the planning board.
I'm sorry?
The aggrievers went to the planning
No,
board.
that's the landowner. That's the only person that really matters.
Right, the landowner did not go to the planning board.
So, I mean, does it become if it for some reason doesn't qualify under the current use law, does it now all of a sudden open itself up to having to have a look at from the planning board?
I think we need to send this to Lara.
I would
Yeah.
agree with you.
And we need to get Rob to tell us what his assessor's opinion is. I mean, ultimately, we're the assessors, but we have a hired person that's supposed to do this.
Yeah,
I mean, there's.
but he can't give us any opinions based on land use. He can only give us based on
Value.
valuation.
Mhm.
So it behooves, once we get ruling is not the right word, an opinion from the legal aspect, if it falls outside of current use, then we would get.
I think it's got to, that being said, I think it would have to go to Lara first.
Yeah.
For her to give us her opinion, and then Rod could view that opinion and come up with his. Does that sound?
Yeah,
That's,
well, they're asking Rob to answer
Right.
the question, so, yeah, we need to get our legal opinion and then put it, see if we can't answer all those, so send her a copy of that.
I will.
so what exactly are we asking this attorney to do for us? Giving us an opinion on what?
As the use of motor vehicles is significant enough to cause a noise disturbance, is that outside the current use?
But it isn't just the noise.
Yeah, it has nothing, I mean, I personally don't think
Well,
there's
the
anything.
impact, it's gonna be impact too,
It's the use
lots,
on the property,
Yeah.
so she needs to look at the current use statute,
yeah.
give us an opinion on that particular use of this property
Right.
and how it's designated. I don't know how it's designated in our files for taxes. And then that answers.
Because right now, the majority of the land is in current use.
I think it's all in current use except for the house lot where he built his house.
So, if, basically, it either falls in current use or out, or outside of current use, and from there, we make the decision based on, is that, that's how I'm understanding what we're talking about, right?
Right.
And on a side note, there's been some questions floating around about whether Ratcliffe's abatement, based on Bill's property next door, on the other side, did Bill clean up that property? Did he put away
Yeah.
all his vehicles? Is an
Yeah.
abatement still valid? Maybe Rod should look at that as well. And should Ratcliffe still be getting an abatement for that property?
Yeah,
BTLA basically gave him an abatement of 11%.
Permanently?
for the noise until the
The
noise
noise.
goes away.
No, I'm talking about the other
This
side.
is
I'm talking,
another, this is
Oh,
a
someone else.
junkyard that was
Okay.
happening, and he got an abatement for that, cause he was next to a non-conforming junkyard. But that ultimately got cleaned up, I thought, so yeah, we should have Rob look at that. Maybe he doesn't, I don't even know if he's still getting.
if he
that.
qualifies, great,
I don't know if he's still getting that abatement, so,
but we should look at it.
yeah.
So, and I misspoke, BTLA didn't give him an abatement, they gave him a reduced value. They reduced the value of his property by
Correct.
11%.
Correct, I remember, we signed off on that,
Yeah.
on a 2-to-1 vote a couple weeks ago. This goes in there too. And correspondence. We have a,
The first one's kind of a non-public one. Cammy just put in, so it's a referral letter.
okay, we have a referral letter from one of our police chief applicants, for one of our police chief applicants. We have a letter from New Hampshire DOT. It's to notify you that the New Hampshire DOT has identified state roads within your city or town for paving in 2024. This information is provided in hopes that it will assist you with coordinating projects, yada yada. It looks like scheduled for this year, 8.7 miles of Route 109A between Tuftonboro and Wolfboro. These are other towns. 6.3 miles of 171 between Tuftonboro and Ospey. 5.2 miles of 171 between Moultonboro and Tuftonboro.
So all of ones are.
Looks like 171's getting done. Yeah.
Maybe they can fix some of the potholes so they don't happen every year.
That's it.
And that's
let's
for
see.
2024, right? Correct.
This year, correct.
I'll send a copy of that to Jim. I'll make sure he gets a copy.
Thank you.
At what point does that become, well, it's public knowledge now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, always was.
Yep. 2024 resurfacing program.
Hmm.
And we have a notification.
He helped me with McConkey a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, it's same information that we got from him.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Now, McConkey,
Yeah.
they even had 171 on his map.
Yeah, I
No.
have it.
But he gave
It's
us
nice to see that we got it
he
paid.
gave us a list. Yeah. Let's see. Vacant land, this industry is asking you to be vigilant and review any request to change addresses for vacant land or unoccupied housing as attempted fraud, especially requests to change a PO box. So,
That would be something you learn to make the
yeah.
postmasters
Well, this would
To
come
the
to,
post office.
this would come to our town clerk, tax assessor, anything, yes.
Right, as the post office boxes, with regard to the post office boxes.
Town of Tuftonboro Board of Adjustment Notice of Decision. Vincent and Rebecca Duford applied for a special exception regarding 36B1 of the zoning ordinance, has been denied. Reason it's denied for neighborhood objections to potential noise. Town of Holderness apparently is building a cell tower. And due to the regulations, we're within 20-mile radius
I
of the
can
town.
see holding this from my house.
Yeah, well, do you object to the cell tower being,
No,
no? Okay. Do we as a board object?
no,
Not 20 miles away.
Do we need a vote on this?
no.
Okay.
We never have in the past. so
Okay.
If somebody wants to bring an objection, then we have to vote as a board whether or not we're.
This is just a notification that Mike Duffy, our engineer for Union Wharf, has notified the installing contractor and Horizons of the lighting that we chose and how it's going to be put in.
Right.
Transformer will be on a photo cell. Revised planning board rules of procedure. We did an update to the rules of procedure to follow the RSA's, and there's a simple one-line change. And again, I was going to do this in my selectmen's update, but I'll do it now.
You'll still get credit.
Okay. The Board of Selectmen have to choose. I'm the ex officio member to the planning board. We need to have an alternate in case that I can't go and vote. So one of you two, would one of you two like to be my alternate in case I can't go to a planning board
I'll
meeting?
volunteer.
I would nominate Chip Albee to be my alternate for the planning board.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. More from the
Is there a
DOT.
plaque?
The New Hampshire DOT is planning the subject project, the 20-mile brook culvert, okay. 109A up at North Country Village, there's an old stone box culvert. Apparently, the state of New Hampshire is gonna be replacing that this year.
And
On the page.
That's
there's
what I'm
a lot
reading.
of resistance to that. The last time we looked at it, I'm wondering if that's actually gonna happen, cause even the New Hampshire's, historical people and whatever they are.
This letter has been sent to the following departments, boards, or commissions: the Board of Selectmen, Planning Board, Town Administrator, Fire Department, Police Department, Road Agent, Conservation Commission, Historical Society. And this full letter is available for review from anybody that may be interested at the town offices. So
It
that's,
was the state historical people who were resistant the last time.
yeah.
That's
They-
the only one that's listed in the Tuftonboro Limestone.
And they ask a bunch of questions of anything that may be disturbing, particularly cemeteries and whatnot, and there just happens to be a cemetery right next to it, so I imagine that somebody from the town will follow up on this and let the state know. NRRA, this is recycling, this is just an annual, a year-to-date report, excuse me, of recyclables that we sent along the way, if anybody's interested in looking at it.
Nice.
Takes care of correspondence, town administrator and selectmen's update. Audrey?
Come on, it's easier. I don't have to go. So the other thing from the planning board besides the alternate is Horizons Engineering had, the town had hired them to do a peer review, and the applicant is supposed to reimburse the town or pay the bill, and they have not. So the planning board wants to know if they can go ahead and pay the bill since it's like 4 months overdue. And I told planning that I would bring it to the board and see what you thought.
Yep. I don't think that Horizons Engineering should be on the hook for the resident. I think that we should pay the bill.
What is, can you give me some more?
Yeah, I don't know anything about it.
It's Verizon?
Horizon.
Horizon Engineering for the subdivision and proposed work next to the motel.
Yeah,
Just the side of the motel. They're going to be putting some day cottages up there, whatnot, and there's a lot of engineering and town requirements, and the whole thing about that the applicant must pay the engineering fees that the town requires.
right,
Well, we contracted with Horizon to do the work,
right.
but the applicant has not paid the bill yet.
Hopefully they haven't got any permits yet then.
Correct.
No.
However, I don't think that we should be.
The Mylar hasn't been signed by engineering yet either. So we
I
don't.
mean, you end up with a lien on the property, because we don't pay
I was
the
wondering
engineering.
about leaning the property.
No. So, but Horizon wants their money.
Can we put a lien on it for this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Or threaten to. I think we should send them a letter first.
Well, and you should send it, have you done the final, planning board done the final approval on
The planning board has approved the project to move forward. Yes.
The applicant's trying to
Subject
get
to-
finances.
Subject to the Mylars and all the rest of it.
Yes.
You have all these things
Yes.
that you have to do.
Subject to those.
So none of that's been signed. So you can't really break ground. It's
No.
not really done.
No.
But
But
needs to pay the bill. How big is the bill?
3,800.
Jesus, what do they think? And it's not that the town requires it because it's in our zoning,
mhm.
you know? It's like you have to build your roads to town specifications.
Right.
And there's safety reasons for it.
Is there some sort of contract that says
I
the
mean,
town
the
is
guy knew
liable if
going
they
in
don't
what he
pay?
had to buy, what he had to pay.
No.
Yeah, we hired him.
Did he not? I certainly hope he did.
To what? Agree to pay?
Yeah, he knew he was gonna.
Yeah,
have to pay
absolutely.
this.
That's made very clear in planning board meetings.
Yeah, so I,
But we contracted with Horizons. The town contracted
that's
with
fine.
Horizon
I
to
mean,
do the
that happens
engineering.
all the time where the
Yep.
town hires the engineer.
But I don't think that we should leave Horizons hanging, is my
No.
point.
But I think there hasn't been enough notification either. I mean, who's the guy gonna pay then? Is he gonna pay the town? He should-
Yes,
Okay,
they'll end up paying us rather than Horizons.
okay, so we need to protect the lien by paying the bill. Got it. And then we.
But you want me to send a letter to the applicant?
Absolutely.
Telling him that his miles are not approved, he should suspend all activity on the property, and there will be a lien on his property for this engineering cost.
Yeah, if it's not done, give them 30 days.
I give him 2 days, but 30 days, yeah.
That's just I pulled that number out of my ass. You can use it whatever you
30
want.
is perfect.
Oh, it's rubbing off on you. Okay. I am drafting the rec agreement with Wolfboro, or hopeful understanding with Wolfboro, memorandum of understanding, whatever we want to call that. And I have been searching for different policies the town might have in place. I did find one on the fund balance policy. So over 2024, I'm hoping to review, update, and centralize these. So I don't know if you know of others hanging around. I thought I'd ask Jack and Jackie and people who have been here for a while. And then
Well, a lot of the policies are integrated into like planning and zoning.
yeah,
And
these
it
are
seems-
these are really off, like
Yeah.
how department managers communicate with each other.
I mean, I just remember we ended up going into some manila envelope over there and finding out what happened with a bid over $5,000.
Okay.
Who was that?
Right, so this is just, and has you, if you're doing a non-public, that you have that, you can basically take minutes in the event that, Ashley or myself can't be here, like the
Okay.
other non-public that was requested tonight, that was canceled, was only for the three of you, so then one of you can take minutes, make sure you're following the state's rules. I have one for you also, Ashley. And then here's the latest and greatest, budget to actual. I couldn't give it to Chip early because then it wouldn't have paid attention to the meeting.
As you want to refer to numbers with any sort of
And
clarity.
I'm almost through my emails from vacation. I did keep up some when I was gone, but, that's all I have.
Alright, so this is just information.
Anything you need me to do?
That we haven't already talked about? I don't think so.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, well, Selectmen's updates. Everything that I was gonna talk about, we've already talked about.
And we're more than willing to give you credit for that.
Thank you, appreciate that.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Anything for you?
Oh, no, not today.
Okay. All right, I did a few things while I was out and about. The first is I happened to meet with one of the proposed providers of our solar installation. And during that discussion, was told that their company had arranged a contract with the co-op for virtual net metering, which would mean that you get net metering at all your meters, which is a much higher rate of return than selling the power. That's the positive. The negative is, and it's not really a negative, is how do you reflect the income coming back? So we need to, at some point in time, have a discussion about how we're gonna budget going forward. So you got $30,000 worth of electric bills per year. And if you can net meter out the $30,000, you don't have any electric bills essentially, but do you keep the money for electricity on the line item and then bring it back into the reserve
As revenue.
as a revenue,
I think
or
that-
as unspent budget at the end of the year? That's one way to do it.
Well, I think may I?
Sure.
I think we should still budget for it, and then also budget the return revenue
Mhm. As income,
as income,
right,
so you can show the in and the out.
right.
And if there's a solar shortfall,
We've got the money.
we've got the money.
Mhm.
Yeah. But that's a self-regulating thing, Bob, just so you just don't get yourself wrapped up in that business. Cause if the revenue from the solar is lower because the cost of electricity is lower, that all sort of trends together, it doesn't trend separately. And knowing that we could do virtually net metering, I got a copy of the library's electric bill to include into this, so we may be going, I think it works out to another 2,000 kilowatt hours, something like that.
Good.
And I met with the Hurlburt Trust on last Thursday, and just because probably one of you, if you run for election years from now, you'll be on the Hurlburt Trust. because the trust has one selectman from Tuftonboro as a member. And we changed the financial arrangement with our broker. So we now have a fiduciary relationship with a 1% cost. What I found out during the meeting was that there had been no activity in the fund, and it's, I don't know, a couple $1 million for over 10 years. So the stocks that were in the portfolio 10 years from now are still in there right now. So the
So
5,000 or 6,000 shares of Coca-Cola are still there.
is there a,
So now we're trying to get more active management, so we've got a little more balanced portfolio. It's running at about 3.5 or 4% return. And given the market averages, we should be at anywhere from 7 to 9.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there.
is there a, I don't know what the correct term is for the statement of purpose?
Oh, yeah, it's all there. So, in fact, it's in the file if you wanna take a look at it. It was a trust set up for the benefit of local students and charitable organizations. So we do a similar list to what the town of Tuftonboro does every year. But in addition to that list of charitable organizations, there's also scholarships that go into the Governor Wentworth Regional School District Guidance Office and also Brewster Academy. There's a provision in there to do mortgages, but there's a banker on the board and they're not willing to give up the business of mortgages, so I don't remember them ever having a mortgage. But it has to give out 10% of its income every year. So, and we only fell afoul of that 1 year when we didn't quite meet the 10%. But we've given, we sent a big chunk of money to the Libby when they were trying to do something there. When the library was going, that got a good chunk of money. We try to avoid town or taxing entities. So the library's a little different, but when, like our rec department, I couldn't get a donation to that because it's, they can raise money through taxation. This is for.
Well, isn't sort of similar to the fire department? I mean, the fire department can raise money.
That's their
own entity.
That's their organization. This is the trust has, certain parameters with which you can work. So I'm hoping it's on back to the solar. So no resistance or problem with the timetable that was set, and we're waiting to hear. But she said it was the girl who came in, the lady who came in
From revision?
from revision, right? And everybody seems to be pretty excited about it at the moment, so. We'll see.
Okay.
You reminded
That it?
me that the bank is gonna come into the next meeting with the treasurer to talk about the town's investments and how they're protected, and
Maybe they'll bring some signature cards for David.
I think she's doing that as well.
Yeah.
I certainly hope so.
All
Get
right.
his ass on the line.
Selectmen's update. I heard, word on the street is that the people would like to have a town read-only Facebook page. Do you want to talk about that?
Well, it's at this point it's just in the idea phase.
Mm-hmm.
What we would need to figure out is ultimately who would be responsible for updating said page. But yes, it would behoove the town because it allows us to push information out instead of requiring the user to actively go looking for it. But the ramification of that, of course, is whoever is responsible for it, say doing the website, would also have to do Facebook as well. So it's something to think about. There's some positives and some negatives, but with everything.
How do you feel about that?
Well, I'm ambivalent about it, but that's just some allude at, so what are you gonna do? I mean, the problem I see cropping up is that any era or omission becomes some sort of, QAnon crazy,
So yeah, I see your point. There's
how can we limit the amount of action that the town takes
yes,
to get the people the information that they think they need? I mean, right now, they have to proactively come to us and ask for the information,
Mm-hmm.
figuratively, on our website. And what I think Dave is suggesting is that we push something out onto Facebook that simplifies that process.
Well, you bring up a valid point in the sense that we have to set up essentially, for lack of better terms, a policy for what goes out there.
Right.
Because you're right. The problem is you start making that available to people, and they could very well complain that, oh, well, why didn't you put that on the Facebook page? And so it has to be a sense of consistency. So I think that's a really valid point.
I mean, if it was just a matter of, I don't know how Facebook works, but just a matter of putting something out on a Facebook page that enabled a link into the
website. Yeah.
I'm fine with that. We ran into a problem with having a particular person, and I'm sure there are other people, who determined what they thought was appropriate for Facebook, that they were pushing out as town information.
Right.
And that didn't work out well at all.
I believe you can put a disclaimer on the beginning to
Absolutely,
when you
yeah.
go to a page. It'll tell you that this isn't the official page.
Yeah.
And town council, or maybe it was NHMA, recommended that it can't be one that people can chat on.
Correct.
Yeah,
yes,
read
this
only.
is read only.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah, they can chat amongst themselves.
That's another matter altogether, and it's not for the town to even take on.
Right.
No, this is read only.
Is this something you'd be interested in working on and coming up with a proposal for the selectmen to review
Yes.
and
I will take that on.
work with Audrey for the legal parameters and whatnot?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Good. Other business. I'd like to, it's not gonna happen tonight, but I'd really like to start talking about our police station and where we're going with it.
That was going to be my second thing, and it didn't make it to my notes, but I did reach out. I did reach out to Paige Stockman, and all I said to him was, "Would you be interested in hearing about the project?" That's all that was said, and his response was yes. So, no, he's the only local contractor that I've even heard of. I know you guys know a whole bunch more, but
Well, I think that what we need to, maybe we can decide this part tonight, is do we continue going down the road that we've gone down for the last 2 years and failed? And using Phil and putting it out to the big companies, or do we still use Phil, his design, and have him come up with an RFP package that we can use with local contractors, with or without the
Well, I think we need to come up with
the grant.
I think we need to decide that we won't use the federal money, and that we need to come up with an agreement with Phil on the use of his design, and we need him for oversight. And I don't know if that queers the deal for these local contractors, but we need some professional guidance as far as the project oversight as it goes forward. The quality of the cement, or the quality of the lumber that we're using, or
Mhm.
the structural use of the trusses, if we're using trusses in the ceiling or the roof. So a lot of that, I mean, that's what Phil would have done had the project gone forward before this. And I think if we're gonna use his design, we're gonna have to pay him anyway, so let's get him to do some work.
Next step is invite Phil in and have a chat.
Yeah, I think so. See what we can come up with for, I mean, I don't know how, cause I never went online to look at, the bid packages, so I don't know how detailed this stuff is. We can waive a lot of different stuff, but we can, if we're not dealing with the federal government. And we also need to have Audrey find out exactly how much money we have.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm sure we've earned some interest.
Sure.
And then we can dig out the proposals that we received,
Mm-hmm.
so we can kind of figure out where, I mean, you want the earthwork done, and you want the
Right.
cement work done, you want the framing done. I mean, I think the electric and plumbing. I mean, I think we can get companies to bid on it, it's just we'd end up doing a lot more of the work than
Mm-hmm.
we were with a GC.
Maybe the next meeting?
The next meeting's already getting pretty full.
Yeah,
How about the one after that,
Yeah, I don't need,
the 29th?
okay.
Sure.
yeah, I don't think we need to push it.
29th?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be here that week. Hold on. Time out.
Is that Memorial Day?
No, I'm gonna be on my way back from, the sunny south, that day. Unless we wanna have the meeting on Tuesday, the 30th. I'm not gonna be here Monday, the 29th. Do we wanna
could
have,
do it the following Monday?
the meeting on Tuesday, the 30th?
I'm fine with that.
I gotta look at I've got a ton of stuff going on in April, but I'm happy to meet on Tuesday the 30th. Just haven't checked with my calendar.
Need to confirm, but that's fine with me.
We have time to.
Okay, let me just
We'll
check.
make it the 30th if
Yeah.
you're good.
Yeah.
And you'll let
And
me
maybe it would only be the time of day. I mean, I'm sure I'm not busy all day the 30th. But
Yeah, so I'm fine for that.
Well, that'd be our normal selectmen's meeting.
It'll be the same time, 4:30.
Yeah, unless you wanted to bring it back to 4 o'clock because, I don't know.
I'll let you know what my calendar says. And that'll determine whether or not you can do that.
I'll coordinate.
Cause are you working
Okay.
on that day?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I'm back to work Tuesday.
No, that's probably
There's no future.
All right.
4:30 is definitely better if we can pull it off.
Okay.
Generally speaking.
Not time for non-public?
I think so.
All right, I'll make a motion that we go into non-public under RSA 91A:3, 2A for,
No, B, the hiring. Okay. B, you're hiring?
well, I don't know.
Yeah, I would do B.
Look at the, there's also,
Yeah. But I think you're first.
want it on B?
I think so.
Yes.
I'll second that.
Murray, aye.
Daphne, aye.
I'll be aye.
7 PM.
It is right on the dot.